Hello, lords and ladies. Private Yorkie here, back from the front. It's crazy out there. Might get crazy in here too, because we're off back to Kenabres for some more laying down the law with me, my tiefling disguise here, in Wrath of the Righteous. Pathfinder, you know. Right. Oh, this isn't right. That's my personal one. Here we are. Right, so, hop out, shall we? Hey, wait! Nivea. Mind if I'm bending your ear about something? And Nivea's outside your door, leaning casually against the shelf. So here's the first and most important thing. Beth gave you a crucial mission. I get that. And I know you'll get the job done. I saw you in action. But here's the rub. By sending you out on an errand, we're weakening our defences here. If they come at us while you're gone, I don't know if we'll be able to fight them off. Everything seems clear so far. What else do you want to discuss? Oh, the rift that damn beetle left Easy's side. Yeah, well, it cuts straight through the city, cutting it in two when it's kind of difficult to get across. My scouts told me there's a halfway decent place set up a crossing in the market square. Not that any of them tried to make it. Tried to make sure. But if you've got a mind to get across, I think you're going to have to eventually. You might want to give the square a once over. You want me to stay and guard the tavern? You what? No, your task is far too important. Alright, don't carry on then. When do you think the demons will attack? Your guess is as good as mine. It might not be here. They could attack the whole damn city. Those vermin know they've lost the upper hand and that we're going to push back hard. If things kick off here, you should know, after they attack, some things could change beyond recognition. So if you've got any business that needs taking care of, you best do it soon. Alright, thank you. See you around. Have a word with Enevia. Sorry, Camellia. Camellia looks you over pensively, toying with a snake-shaped bone amulet that dangles from her pale neck. Noticing your glance, she flashed you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings. Seems for a moment that she wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long and she slips back into cautious silence. Tell me about yourself. You want to know more about me than you already do. Why? Camellia arched a dainty brow. Why not? Get that up. I talk to the spirits, this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight the demons, and I swear that you can rely on me in this matter. Isn't that sufficient? Where did you learn to wield a rapier so well? I had good teachers. Although they don't get all the credit, I'm a most diligent student. Amelia licks her parched lips. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where did you get it? Ah, my little trinket. It's so nice of you to notice. But I assure you, this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? Yes. My wife married me. I'm not even beautiful. I'm just useless. Your speech tells me you're of noble birth. Amelia laughs, a practiced musical laugh, as she watches you from under lowered lashes. You're most insightful. A fine quality to have. Camelia's laughter ends. No spoken words hang in the air. Forgive me if my questions disturb you. I couldn't resist such a noble and beautiful lady. I will stop bothering you immediately if talking to me upsets you. Not at all. Our conversation is an exquisite delight. Amelia affords you a brief friendly smile in appreciation of your manners. Now you're more relaxed during battle. Your battle cries are uninhibited. She blushers slightly and lowers her eyes. But you've noticed. To be honest, I find it embarrassing. You see, being a shaman means having the spirit of battle as my ever-present companions. In the heat of combat, they become rather vocal. Anyway, as much as I enjoy our delightful conversations, the spirits are calling me. I must respond. Please excuse me. Amelia turned away, watching you out the corner of her eye. Let me just check what I've got set. Trickery, yes. Elf, okay. August, you owe me some money, pal. Here, take this. Yes, it's 2,000. Take your payment and remember that August Worm always keeps his word. You helped me back to the surface and I duly paid you for escorting me. Now, speaking of our future cooperation, will we? August looks at you with unvarnished disapproval, his arms folded across his chest, his foot tapping impatiently. Oh, shut up. I have a job that would be perfect for someone like you. Someone like me, you cheeky bugger. Naturally, I'll pay you generously for your services. You mean a job for someone like me? What are you trying to imply? For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze and then lie down drunk in the gutter. You need a slap, mate. Or do you think you're somehow different? Yes. A travelling knight, perhaps. Noble of heart, but without a coin to your name. Olga sizes you up critically and sighs and shrugs. You seem reliable enough to lie to me. And you did get me out of those mongrel caves. So why should I care what you do with my money once you've got it? Olga seems like one of those people who think the entire world owes him something. However, he notes hysteria beneath his smug appearance. It's as though he's really quite nervous about, but taking great pains to conceal it. Noble right, don't give you the right to behave badly. That's what you refrain from such statements in future, you cheeky rat. August puts his hands on its legs. Oh, really? How impudent. No one tells August Squirm how to address the rabble. The rabble! I'm gonna... Alright, what kind of reward are we talking about? 1,000 gold. Double it. Ah, right. That kind of money I could... Alright, well, what's it involved? Tell me. You shall be my bodyguard. You see, I have a good reason to return to my mansion here in Kenabres. I still have. Well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden and a wealthy part of the city. Even before the demons attacked, every thief and fraudster in the city had tried to get inside, one way or another. I shudder to imagine the state of it now. I have little hope that my guards were able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect that the servants fled when they saw the demons. Only Abaddon knows what's happening there since. Therefore, I would ask that you meet with me in my mansion and guard me there until I complete my business. For 1,000, I suppose we can fit it in. I already asked the local paladins for help, but they've no desire to step foot outside the tavern. Cowards. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Also, please take Camellia. Yep, that's fine. She can come with us for now. Marvellous. Most excellent. August's face relaxes, smoothing a few of the tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand, but do worry, unless you want me to lower your reward. Lower it, and I might just leave you there on your own. Will you? A young man in well-worn travelling cloaks and a simple wooden symbol of Eristil on his chest is efficiently cutting a linen robe into slips to use as bandages. Despite his visible exhaustion, he works with zeal, singing some tune about red braids and ripe sheaves of wheat under his breath. He raises his warm, chestnut-coloured eyes to you. Are you one of the Crusaders? Thank you for defending those of us whose talents lie off the battlefield. I'm Gierno, servant of Eristil. Pleased to meet you. What are you doing? I only took my holy orders recently, so my god has only bestowed a little on me. As yet. I'm sorry to say that the number of wounded fighters in this tavern is far beyond my power to heal. But the reason people say have faith in the gods, but look to yourself first. I may not be able to help the wounded with magic, but I can at least cut up bandages. Are you from around here? No. I was just passing through Kenabres. I was sailing down that old man of ours, the Great Selene, to a village named Chilly Creek. I happened to land in the city on the eve of the festival. I'm ashamed to say I decided to stay for a day to enjoy myself. But I ended up staying in the city longer than I'd bargained for. Yeah, I bet. Chilly Creek, where's that? It's a small fishing village. It's not even marked on some maps. But people do live there. What they don't have is a priest. They have no one to heal their wounds, no one to offer prayers for a good catch, no one to give their dead a dignified burial. And the world wounded a stone's throw away. So I'll be setting sail for Chilly Creek to serve my god and my people. Once we've held Kenabres, I'll be going there. If by the grace of the gods we all survive this, you should come and visit me sometime. You'll find the village here on the banks of the river. Priest marks Chilly Creek on your map. Aren't you a young and inexperienced cleric afraid to go to the border of the world wound? I won't lie. I'm afraid, but what can I do? Those villagers are simple people. Every day of their short lives is spent doing hard, honest work. That's exactly the kind of life I want. Something simple, but meaningful. If I had centuries ahead of me like elves do, I might have spared some 50 years or so to travel around the world, the young man says with a smile. Or maybe even 100, why not? But I don't have time to spare. So I want to spend my short life in a place where I'm needed most. Even if it's dangerous, especially if it's dangerous. I could use the help of a cleric. Makes a helpless gesture. Eric still knows I'd be glad to help you, but it's no use. My spells are depleted and I have no training in potions or scrolls. See this robe I'm cutting up for bandages? It's the second to last one. Alright then, good luck. Now let's see what's in the basement. Don't mind if I take this stuff to you? No, I didn't. Surrender thy soul, Delvin. I am a day protectors. I got you again. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove them, tiefling. Oh, a fellow tiefling. Oh, easy there, chief. Don't hit me. Oh, let's see what we can get from round here, shall we, before we do anything else?
Watch out for trouble.
We up the wall.
Keep your calm.
Now let's go see who this guy is.
Hey, Chief. Hey, Dreamboat, come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something
Dreamboat?
really important.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out.
Well, you're a violent bugger.
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Who are you?
Woljif Jeffdo. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want.
So you're a thief.
But there's just one problem.
The tiefling rattles his chin and gives you a meaningful look. So you're a captured thief. What do you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations? No problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
What a load of guff. If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Kenabres.
You're selling yourself now? Why are you in chains?
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and
Yeah, you're a cheeky thief.
He was caught thieving.
Told you. Your shadow, what was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you.
You're way too entertained by it.
It's not contagious.
I can't help you while you're chained up. How can I get you free?
That's easy. You know Irabeth?
Yep.
Feisty looking gal.
Aye.
Always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's
I
the
know.
meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy Woljif locked up for no good reason in the Defenders Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. You got that? Will you do it?
Alright, I'll do it.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
We'll talk later. Back upstairs.
There are many roads
I
to
can sell some junk here, okay. Talk to Gemmel. A strange figure towers over the bar, a huge, ungainly man with skin so milky white. His blue veins are visible even from a distance. His bald head is equal parts lumpy and pitted, and blood-filled eyes stare impassively out at you from under the pale brows. The glass in his albino's large, clumsy hands looks dangerously delicate, as if one twitches those callous fingers would be enough to crush it. A gold medallion, engraved with a tankard, gleams around his neck. What'll it be? Who are you? The albino slowly takes a measure with red eyes, and finally, with a gentle sigh, says, Gemel Hawks, vampire. Are you really a vampire? Gemel gives you a long, reproachful look, and then grudgingly answers, No. How'd you end up in the Crusader City? How did anyone end up here? How did you, or them? The huge hand of the tavern keeper gestured to the ragtag group assembled in the room. The world is big, but still there isn't a place for everyone. People with no longer have a life anywhere else. They end up here. That medallion you're wearing, that's a sacred symbol, isn't it? Are you a cleric of Kaleen? I'm a tavern keeper, best in the city, best as ever been. I pray to the best god there is. Any news in the city? Tina looks around. There are demons everywhere and you showed up. Any places worth visiting then? I mean places that normal people usually stay well away from. Then there are plenty, like the Pitaxian wine cellar. Gimbal pauses for effect, like the name of the place alone should make you quiver in fear. It once belonged to a Pitaxian trading house. Then King Iravetti came to power in Pitax, and property started changing hands. Soon after, the seller's shop assistant was found in a ditch. Not all of him, mind, just his head. The Miriam gangsters had taken possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine on the street, and they ended up on the gallows. Then King Iravetti's number was up. So now the store stands empty and unclaimed. People say there's a headless ghost wanders the place at night, moaning ghoulishly. Woo! After coming to the end of the story, unusually long by his standards, the tavern keeper takes a swig from his tankard. Just don't ask me how he makes any noise with no head. It wasn't there. I just tell it like I heard it. Fair enough. I see you're not one for talking, usually. Emil gives you a long, mournful look and says nothing. Show me what you have. Wow. And we'll get the light wounds stuff. Might get some other stuff too later, but not right now. Who's this? Oh, hang on, Nivea's here. What do you want? Nivea, in her muted colours, blends almost perfectly into the background. Yes, she did. She appears relaxed, but her seemingly unfocused eyes are taking in everything around her, tracking and filtering potential threats. The only tell is the way she drums her fingers on her hip, near her weapon sheaths. She shows no sign of her injuries, and confidently leans on a previously broken leg. She pretends to have just noticed you, even though she watched you approach from afar. Oh, hey! See how they patched me up? Now I can run, jump, and dance a jig if I feel like it. Are there any suspicious places in the city that I should pay attention to? There are a couple of spots I wanted to check out. I didn't have time. If there really is a den of cultists there, it would be good if you could swoop in and bust some heads. You don't even need a search warrant. Nivea shoots you a crooked smile. First one is Silk and Threader. It's a funny little tailor shop. Doesn't take any orders and never buys any fabric. But they've always been oh so busy. They're busy with something in there alright, but sewing it ain't. Second one is an alchemy shop, Topaz Solutions. And they trade in everything. Not just healing potions. Judging by the ingredients they've been buying on the black market, there's something fishy about the alchemical rituals going down in that place. Why don't you tell me about yourself? He shrugs with a lazy smile. I'd be happy to, but there's kind of nothing to tell. What's so interesting about me? Where are you from, Anavia? Nowhere. I was blown in by the wind and found in a cabbage patch. He stopped short. Sorry. That's an old habit of mine. I don't like blabbing about my past, but you saved my skin, so I guess I kind of owe it to you. Not to clown around, right? I'm from Minagho, and I wouldn't wish my homeland on my worst enemy. You've heard of the place, I'm sure. Ruled by monsters aren't alive or dead. And the official religion is a cult of Zunkathon. I grew up in a slum, like a weed between the cobblestones. I didn't have a dad. I had lots of aunts and uncles. My mum's cronies. No prizes for getting the kind of business she was involved in. He gave me a set of lockpicks as soon as I could hold a spoon. And while other kids were picking their noses, I was picking pockets. When I was 12, the monks of the Silent Cloud came for us. Baby guys with their mouths sewn shut. They were like the guards of Nidrock. Mum gave me to her friends, and we hid in a secret temple of Desna. I never saw my mum again. I lay low in the temple for the next few years, kept my head down. I washed floors, fetched water, listened to sermons. Funny thing, after a while I started liking Desert's teachings. But as soon as I was old enough, I was out of there. Boom. I left Nidal and was gone away as far as I could. Quite the ragtag group you've got here, from noble to street thieves. You got that right. Only for the best for you. What do you do if tonight's nobles fail to save the world? The lowlifes are your only hope. You're not wrong. How did you meet your best? I was bumming around Timon a while back. Doing this and that. Peasant temples sometimes gave me odd jobs, you know. Sometimes they needed people with skills like mine. On the surface it was fine, I guess. After Nidal, the freedom of River Kingdoms should have seemed like heaven. My chance to sit back and enjoy life. But I wasn't that. There just wasn't any joy in my new life. I was all alone. No one cared about me. I didn't care about anybody either. I struggled to find the reason to drag myself out of bed every morning. Tying a stone round my neck and jumping into the nearest river started to look pretty appealing. One day, I was hired to follow some fellas who the local authorities suspected were Asmiran spies. I was stupid. I made a rookie mistake and they caught me. It's like my body had already decided to do what my mind had been fighting, so finally putting me out of my misery. Get someone else to kill me, since I didn't have the guts to do it myself. They grabbed me. I thought they'd got me on the spot, but instead they hogtied me and dragged me off. Just like an animal, going to the slaughter. My only thought was, let's get this over with. They brought me to their stinking cave, threw me on the altar, and I realised who it was. Cuthites. From Nidal. They'd tracked me down after all those years. I didn't care anymore. Wouldn't even have cared if they'd eaten me or whatever. We all got to go sometime, right? So there I was, lying there, staring at those knives pointed at me. When fate rolled the dice and I hit the jackpot, Arabeth, there she was, storming into the cave. Picture it. I'm lying on an altar with all these knife-wielding maniacs around me, and suddenly Arabeth storms in. I thought it was Eomedae herself, fierce in the shining armour, with a gleaming sword raised. She made quick work of those scumbags, chopped them up just like that. I didn't even have time to blink. She untied me, and then Nivea's face lights up. She chuckles. She looked through the papers they had on the table, and she started swearing like a sailor. So much for Eomedae. How did you and Arabeth end up in Kenabres? After almost becoming a human sacrifice? I knew I never wanted to leave Arabeth's side. Desna knows I fell for her instantly. Yeah, rescuer syndrome. And I fell hard. My misery was gone when Arabeth showed me what was in those papers. Proof that the cultists had a nest in her home city. I offered to help without a second thought. Nevia smiles warmly. She must have figured out that I couldn't wait to get my revenge on the cultists. But I didn't give a damn about them. It was her. I'd go anywhere with her, even on a crusade or to the jaws of a dragon. But I took to life in Kenabres like a duck to water. I used to be an outcast wherever I went, but half of the crusaders are the same. After all, who'd volunteer to tangle with demons on the edge of the abyss? You gotta be either a goody two-shoes with too much honour and free time, or a misfit with no life out in the normal world with normal people. People come here to run away from their debts, their past. Well, do I fit right in? It's like living with her best. It's like living. Without her, I wouldn't be. Seriously, if I were alone, I'd be gone by now. Sure, sometimes we argue, can't deny that. Sometimes we bang our fists on the table and yell so loud that the walls shake, but that's all about order business. But at home... I'll give you an example. I've kind of always wanted to move out of that broom closet we call a house, and into somewhere cozier. It ain't like they take about poverty and the Eagle Watch. But every month, most of our spend money is spent on crusader business. Sure, I get mad about it, but Olivia makes a helpless gesture. It's part of why I love her so much. You know, the best has that thing that matters most to a person, a purpose in life. She's always got a reason for whatever she's doing. Her whole life is a crusade. Just drift around, like a leaf in the wind. until Desna brought us together. Now she's the meaning of my life. So it really makes no difference to live here in the mansion or under a bush. Thank you for your answer. Tell me, what are your responsibilities here in the Eagle Watch? Nothing official. I'm not even a knight, you know. I just hang around. You sure you want to know about the details? Catching traitors and spies and cultists is no walk in the park. It's a delicate job. You can't always do it all within the letter of the law. What if we surprise some suspicious blighter with an official search? Everybody will know about it before long, starting with their cronies. Then again, sneaking into people's houses at night ain't exactly legal. Crusaders can't be doing stuff like that, can they? Well, I'm not exactly a knight, she tailed off. Alright, I gotta go. Bye now. And who's this with a crowd? An imposing young Noriadi is surrounded by a group of crusaders who are hanging on to her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Jiska legionnaires from the last war and the crusaders. Perfect in the form and spirit they were imbued with during creation. Turn them into parts of a well-balanced war machine. Not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Whatever. Now tell me again why I am supposed to be impressed with your reckless assaults, where everyone is fighting for their ego, and for the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice. Some of the crusaders grumble unhappily, but it's clear they are captivated by the woman's work. The only exception is a scraggly and disabled halfling, Monk, whose puffy black eye gives him away as a brawler and a troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward and tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabbed him in the back with an elbow, making the poor fellow pause to catch his breath. Looks like we got a student of warfare here. Someone gives you a suspicious look and raises an eyebrow. Are your words meant to recognise my achievements, or to start a fight the way Mendevian crusaders usually? What do you think? One of the crusaders angrily curls his fist tightly and retorts with a burst of passion. Those gifs of yours, or whatever, had come for us. We'd have dead guts for garters. You think that we've never fought a mighty adversary before? Soldier's stern facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He clearly plans to enjoy this confrontation. The crusaders around him look upon their exotic opponent with a mix of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before cutting off her interlocutor. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot-tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries a siege fortification on its back. And I'll have you know, these fortifications were defended by Jiskan priest craftsmen armed with demon-bound war machines. They use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her clothes with pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes on a lecturer's tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom, and the most arrogant prat I've heard in a long time. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Yeah, you know you're wrong to hate the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate? Oh, I'll be happy to prove the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of Jiska. Very well, the last war of Jiska was waged using a significantly greater number of troops. Both sides actively relied on reinforcement from allied planes, and their strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. Sounds like you just told me a whole bag of lies that's hidden by history, love. Compared to the Jiska, we are but stone club wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of wise counsel from Dagon, an advisor of Pharaoh of the Forgotten Plagues. I doubt you'll comprehend their true genius of his statement, but here it is nonetheless. The gadfly sees the ox pays no heed to the gadfly, while the crimson fever takes them both. The events of the past are shrouded in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. That's what you fail to grasp. The earnestness on the faces of those around you has taken away the Indara's panache, encouraging her to backtrack and stumble over the words. Of course, I'm not trying to diminish the importance of current events. What I'm trying to say is that from the standpoint of history, and particularly the history of warfare, all silent, fixedly staring at the unfriendly eyes of our audience. The true importance of these developments won't become obvious until later. Indara offers a pretentious dismissal. As a scholar, I cannot deny that there is a certain truth beneath your sceptical statements. History is a complex discipline, rooted in fact and an evidentiary base that grows ever more meagre, the further the described period is from the current moment. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellish their tales of slaying a single Brimarack by adding a dozen Baelors, for instance, I could win this debate. I think you're doing that already, love. But I am above such things, and therefore I am forced to admit that your scepticism is not entirely without merit. Yeah, let's give it an out. I am sure you would have been able to expound on your arguments in a longer discussion. Dara nodded, obviously. I am glad we both understand this limitation. It's always a pleasure to face a worthy opponent, even if the debate takes place in a grimy tavern. Perhaps especially because of that. Dara unbuckles a sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use, not only for the strong, but for the wise. And this is where I bid you farewell. Toward the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive their prey like herds of livestock. About time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile graces Indara's lips when she sees the disappointment in the eyes of the Crusaders around her. Stay safe. Well, I'm a kineticist. I don't really need that, but maybe someone else will be able to use it. Who's this? A tall, athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely grey, and shone close to his head in a military style. He is lean and well-groomed, and a monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and his large but agile frame attest that here is a man who is always ready to be on the move. Greetings, I am Hilo, Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society. I am the superior officer among Pathfinders in this region of Mendev. However, the Society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck out here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I had to work alone without the support of the Society. I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, let me know. Yeah, I need brave and experienced fighters, actually. 4500, we'll do that. So I want to bring Musha in, who is a brown fur transmuter or a white fur transmuter. Right. Work. See? Do it like that. And then I can focus everything in there. Yeah, point blank. Oh, I can't be consumed spell class feature magic as through text. Okay. Get that. We'll get that. This is Moonshot and she's evilish. Angel person. I mean, there she's got her self all dyed white and everything, but that's okay. Oh, hey, Hiruko. Didn't see you there. Not used to having visitors. How you doing, Hiruko? You see what, well, I don't really care about any of that because she's not going to take that form.
Cover me with grace.
Hope I didn't miss you there, Haruko. Welcome aboard. Right, this is... just a random date.
This hurts so much.
Don't matter too much what I get because she's going to get all the other spells that I get, isn't she? So there is that. Alright, now then, precise shot. Why don't we get colour spray, maybe? Oh, and the second one. There we are. Quick word with the best. And the best rubs the red and tired eyes. Any success? How is the city? There's a tiefling turned up in the Defenders Heart. What can you tell me about him? And the best rubs scornfully. Woljif is a petty thief from the gang of tieflings operating in Kenabres. That's what we call them in these parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we only apprehended one of them, and the rest managed to escape. We've nowhere else to keep him apart from the Defender's Heart. Hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging for us for days to let him go free or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? The best squints at you thoughtfully and then shrugs. If you want to recruit Woljif and put him to good use, go ahead and take him off our guard's hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful. You should decide if you should decide to take him along. Alright, I'm not going to stand here talking to you all day. The next thing is to have a word with Woljif. Get him out of there.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
I don't do it best and I've decided to make you part of my troop. For now anyway. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker.
That's me.
Come on, Delvin, get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
Well, I'll regret it if he does.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and can ya? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defenders Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Kenabres wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following?
Mm-hmm.
Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go. I'll show you the way.
All right, then. Have a look at our spell book, shall we? Excuse me. We can have a bit more healing. We got 6 at the moment, but he's not the 6 we're going to stick with in the end. Some of them are. Some of them are. Alright, let's catch it with Woljif. Woljif gives you a friendly wave. Hey Chief, wanna talk? I want to know more about you. How much is more? And your family tieflings too. My family, it's an interesting story actually, but I don't tell just anyone. My father and mother had a bakery. Their life was great, but the gods never blessed them with any children. One day my mother went to the river to wash some clothes and saw a basket floating downstream. Inside the basket was a baby, adorable and chubby and fast asleep. It was yours truly. In my hand was a note spritz with expensive perfume that said, "Take care of my little angel." My mother brought me home, and she and my father realised right away that I was heaven sent. All right, Moses, shut it. Now tell me the truth. They raised me as their own. When I turned 15, my mother showed me my baby blanket. It was embroidered with a coat of arms of an unknown kingdom, all in gold thread. Ever since then, I've been looking for my real parents. It's not easy travelling, takes money, so if you got a few gold coins, yeah. Enough, pull the other one, it's got bells on. Seriously, usually people just believe everything I say. People love stories like that, you know, a cute baby, a basket, a blanket, what's not to love. They look at me differently, as if I'm worth more just because the sheets I spit up on might have had a fancy coat on them. Woljif laughs bitterly. If I was really a prince, I wouldn't be sitting around here, I can tell you that much. I've already gone to take what was rightfully mine, and then I'd come back with an army, so I could watch the guards and merchants who pushed me around all my life bow and scrape before me. That's not going to happen. Want to hear the real story? The true story is boring. My family is human, both my mother and father. They used to live in a village nearby. I forget the name. When my ma had me, my old man got so mad he almost killed her. Pinned her to the wall and started asking questions like why his son had horns and a tail. Well, my ma told him that her mother, my grandma, used to fool around with the demon. When he heard this daddy dearest got drunk and trashed the house and took off. I don't remember any of this, of course. My grandma told me. I was about 3 years old when my mother brought me to Kenabres and left me with my grandma. Said to her, "You and your demon have ruined my life. Now you handle him." Then she left. I haven't seen her or my dad ever since. She did leave a blanket, though. That part was true. My grandma burned it because it was infested with lice. It wasn't even good enough to use as a rag. You think, after all that, my grandma saw the light and felt righteously ashamed and kissed my horns. Away. Woljif grinned nastily, his yellow eyes flashing. People used to give her trouble for fooling around with a demon. She wasn't welcome anywhere. Got angry. Normally kids get bedtime stories, see. The only tales I got were how my dad was worthless, and ma was a slut, and I was a demon spawn that no one cared about. She only kept me so I could help around the house and steal things she needed. Truth. How did you become a thiefling? Wolfling grins. Woodruff grins, Wolfling? Happily. I already was a tiefling, and life made me a thief. I've been in this business since I was a kid. My grandma used to say, if you don't work, you don't eat. She gave me as an apprentice to Igor, a tiefling neighbour of ours. He was a cunning old geezer. He knew how to take a purse off someone's belt, how to cut open bags undetected, how to do some magic. I used to climb through basement windows and open doors from the inside while I was still small enough. When I grew and stopped fitting through the windows, I was done with my education. And I paid my grandma for everything she'd done for me, which is absolutely nothing. Why would I feed her if she wasn't bringing me any money? If you don't work, you don't eat. So I took off. I got bored of my teacher too, but when I so much as hinted at leaving, he said I owed him for my education. So I just nodded, and then I joined the Owlbears, the gang that ran our district. I told them that Igor was working their territory. I don't know what happened to him, but I stayed with the Owlbears. I imagine you would. I mean, he's probably dead, and if not, he wants you dead. Then their leader started giving me the cold shoulder. I did steal from him, but never that much. So I had to rat them out to the guards. Then I joined the Golden Hands. A good time, rich pickings. I would have stayed in the Golden Hands, but the Northmen promised me a bigger cut if I told them where the Golden Hands kept their loot. I'm no fool, of course, so I told them. After that, I only had one option, to join the Northmen. And then the family came. At first, no one took them seriously, calling them seaflings and all that. But I felt it right away. They had power behind them, and they had more money. I'm always on the winner's side, Chief. That's why I joined the Tieflings. And right on time, some thugs came from the city and made the Northmen leave. One who survived in the family now, too. Alright, well, you've told me everything. Your shadow looks strange, though. What kind of magic is that? Ladies and gentlemen, roll up, roll up. No dark magic, no fraud. The trick without a deception. Ta-da! Yeah, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Not the strangest thing I've seen. Alright. Let's go. You're just using regular knives. Give me that. Ooh. Right then. Oh. Someone else out here. Commander, look what we've got here. Are you too mad? Whatever possessed you to steal the gem golem from the Tower of Estrad Museum? Explain yourselves. We didn't steal nothing, Commander. We saw some looters dragging it down the street and recaptured it. Now they sent it. That shiny fella belongs to the treasury. The inlay alone is worth more than a castle. Go in and see to it that no one lays a hand on it. Okay, there we are. Oh, a gem golem. Alright, well, we'll deal with that later. Right now, I just want to go take on these seedlings. I'm definitely tired this morning. Well, this early afternoon anyway. The basement is dark and dank, and you're immediately struck by the hostility of the gathered tieflings. 5 of them are kneeling against the wall, separate from the rest. The tall woman, who had been cleaning her fingernails with the tip of a knife, greets you with narrowed eyes. Brother Wodje. Message then. Sorry I couldn't swing by sooner, dear Sister Charisma. It was just one thing after another. First I was in shackles. Next, well, no, I was still in shackles. And And then I was being watched, and then the chief got me out and came here straight away. I knew you'd been waiting on me. Enough talking, or else we'll be here all night. So we had a clear plan. We were going to wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods, and leave. Even if the neighbours called the guard, it was time to get away. But what happened? That bitch Kenabres showed up almost right away. She knew we'd be there. Somebody betrayed us. And I have a good idea who it was. What do you have to say about that? Make it quick. Well, the burden of proof lies with the accuser. Woljif doesn't have to prove anything. He speaks. I thought Woljif only brought years so he'd have someone to stand behind if things went south. In a single fluid motion, Charisma adjusts a grip on a knife, but he's holding it by the blade, as if prepared to throw it. Burden of proof? You're a city guard or something. I don't know how it is with your lot, but in the family, the highest rank is always right. And here, that's me. Do you think Woljif knows the name of the traitor? Yes, he knows the name of the traitor. Every gang that Brother Woljif has been part of has very quickly come to an end here. We've kind of heard about that. He's a bit of a naughty boy, but that doesn't mean he did anything here. The hideout location was passed to the guards. All their competitors found out where they could ambush him. Woljif is the only one who always comes out smelling of roses. Think about it, you'll come to the same conclusion as us. I'd have said that meant Woljif was cursed with finding friends among losers and screw-ups. But now he's with us. That must mean the curse has been broken. That depends. He's indeed more fortunate finding himself in a party with me. On the other hand, he'll end up in a party with you. But you're not going to stay with us long. Kenabres is burning. Why are you squattering here instead of fleeing the city? Charisma purses her lips. I'd be glad to leave like the rest of my brothers and sisters, but in the family there's nothing worse than betrayal, and it's something we do not forgive. We do not forgive anyone who lets traitors off the hook either. If I don't find the rat, my superiors just say I wish I was burning in Kenabres. I want to keep living, so I'm going to take a chance until I find the one who is a traitor here. No one is leaving. Well, Jeff, just tell us your side. What the hell happened? What's there to tell? About a week ago, Mr. Charisma got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me and those 5 over there, Woljif jerked his head toward the 5 tieflings kneeling by the wall. She rounded up, and she says she's got a score. Ancient trees and wonders. The one place nobody's been able to hit. The place is guarded by a golem. But now a powerful scroll that would knock out the golem just happened to come into our possession. Along with the tip-off that the shop owner would be gone on a particular night. There is me. Step aside with me a minute, would you? I'd like to have a little word about trust and stupidity. We've got a shop that no one's penetrated, guarded by a golem. You're not getting in there. Some mysterious tip arrives that the owner's going to be gone and that there's a scroll here that'll destroy the golem. On a specific night, probably at a specific time at least. And you weren't suspicious? You didn't think it was a setup? Might have been Woljif, but it was a setup. It was obvious from the start, wasn't it, you daft? Some people. But now, okay, all things must know a bit of magic, and we know that any enchanted junk will send for a pretty penny. So we're in. The most important thing was none of us was to be hanging around the shop ahead of the job. In other words, you also had to give whoever set you up a chance to make sure they were ready to spring the trap. You're an idiot, Charisma. No casing out the place, no calling a textile, not to see anyone who's waiting for you. Oh, this is genius. This job was top secret. Top secret? This job was a setup from beginning to end. That's true. All through so far. Go on. We did everything right with the locks and the golem. I picked the lock. Remember it clear as day. Mr. Downer was on lookout for the Melrune of the scroll. Coffee, Tabby and Barney bought the sacks. We covered the windows and lit the torches. I remember scooping up rings and tossing them in the sack. And one right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under the table after it. Next thing I know, Beth was there. Everybody scarpered. But I was still under the table. Not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out. But then those blockheads were dragging me out by my tail. and put me in shackles. They took all my rings off, about 20,000 worth. And to add insult to injury, I never found the last one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So they caught you, you poor thing, stripped you of your loot, and you didn't even manage to stash anything. There's me pointedly polishing a knife. There's the Moon of the Abyss, Woljif. What's the Moon of the Abyss? It was an amulet. It used to sit on a little cushion in the window of ancient trees and wonders. Sterling silver sparkled like a star. Fine piece of work. On one side was a half moon, a crescent, a waning moon, and on the middle was a dark crystal, like it was eclipsing the moon. Old man Philemon was so proud of that amulet. He used to say, "I'll never sell it. It's a jewel of my collection." Woljif sighed unhappily. I used to go there to see what kind of treasures there were in the world. There's nothing else to look at in Kenabres. People used to claim it was a powerful thing. But who's to say, if you ever stole a thing like that, you'd have the guards on you the second you tried to fence it. Everybody knew that you were always hanging around the ancient streets and wonders, drooling over the Moon of the Abyss. Did you think you could swipe it in all the commotion and keep it for yourself? Did you hope that we'd all be locked up and you'd get off scot-free? Don't take me for a Woljif, I see right through you. Why would a Rebecca arrest her own informant? Look, the words right out of my mouth, it doesn't make sense. If I was a rat, I'd have kissed her on the hand and been long gone by now. You know me, sister, I'm a cautious fellow. I'm not an idiot. Why would I go against the family? So the fish in the cellar can have a nice Woljif-sized dinner? The Moon of the Abyss is a pretty bauble, to be sure. It's just an amulet. It ain't worth dying over. You know where the best people would protect you. Knew you could pin the moon going missing on them. And now you come here with backup. You knew exactly what I was going to say to you. Only problem is, no one's returned the amulet to Philemon. Are you giving her a better cut his assets? Have you seen her? You think she'd take a cut of anything I offered her? She can't be bought. She's like 3 heralds of Ayomade all rolled into one. Speaks the truth. You'll find some knights who'll take bribes, I'm sorry to say. But Arabeth Tirabate isn't one of them. Alright, go on, Woljif. That's the whole story. Woljif crosses his arms and looks affronted. Some family this turned out to be. It's just a name in the end. In a real family, people take each other at their word. Depends how often they like the Woljif. They don't throw around accusations. Oh, well, about that. I didn't take the Moon of the Abyss. What am I going to do with it? You can't sell it to no crusaders. It's a special item. You can't wear it, it'll get nicked. It's pretty to look at, but it ain't that pretty. It's that important to you, Sister Charisma, I'll find it. And I'll drag the traitor here by his horns, just so as you don't end up at the bottom of the cellar. But do you know what you're going to do after that? You're going to give me an apology, right here in front of everyone. You're going to apologise loud and clear, so everyone hears it. You'll say, sorry, Woljif, you're a good guy. No, wrong about you. Fine, you're one of my people, which is why I'm going to give you some time. But if you run, Brother Woljif, family will get you wherever you go. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, fearing poison in every cup and every meal. You'll look into the eyes of every tiefling you meet, wondering if the families come for you. You'll have no peace. One day you'll be tired of running. You'll stop to catch your breath, and that's when we'll catch you. Got it? You got away with words, Sister Charisma. A way that almost made me wet myself, but away nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll have a chat with our scaredy gal at her best. She knows you a little. You can ask her who ratters us out. Alright, we'll find the real traitor. Boot out the traitor, but be quick. Let's head back to the tavern. And we'll end it there for today. We've been going an hour. Pick up from the dead horse first. Bit of a fight.
Time to practice my combat abilities.
It's all your fault.
In we go. Go meet Erebeth. Will be done right there. There's a traitor I'm trying to track down. Who is your informant among the seedlings? Erebeth arches a brows in surprise. Kenabres is threatened by a demon horde and you've enough spare time to help out thieves. Erebeth sighs. I don't like this, but I hope you know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note. Appeared. Erebeth hesitates. He tries to remember. He had a cloak with the hood masking his face, but the horns, the long horns, didn't fit under it. Could be a guardian following ancients and wonders. The shop they tried to rob. They only gave us the construct's code word just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but the head seems to be intact. So you can interrogate the thing and find out what it's for. Code word is Handawidori. The shop's owner must have escaped. But there's a chance you'll get lucky with the golem. Alright, I gotta go. And that's where we'll pick up next time.